There are certain things in life that should remain private, not because you are hiding anything, but because protecting your peace, dignity, and future requires boundaries. Sharing too much with others can expose you to judgment, jealousy, or even betrayal. When you learn the discipline of silence in certain areas, you strengthen your character and safeguard your growth. Today, I want to share with you 5 things you should never share with anyone, no matter how close they may seem. When we think about dreams and future goals, our natural instinct is to share them with others. We get excited about what we want to accomplish, and in that excitement, we feel the urge to tell the people around us. It almost feels like sharing gives life to the dream, as though speaking it aloud makes it more real. But in truth, exposing your future plans too early can often do more harm than good. There is power in silence, and there is wisdom in keeping your dreams protected until they are strong enough to stand on their own. The first danger of sharing your plans openly is that not everyone will receive them with the same enthusiasm that you feel. Some people, even those closest to you, may discourage you, question your ability, or inject doubt into your mind. They may tell you that what you're aiming for is unrealistic, that it's too big, too risky, or simply impossible. And even though you may have the passion and vision to pursue it, those voices of doubt can start to echo in your mind and weaken your confidence. When you keep your plans to yourself, you create a safe space where your dreams can grow without being suffocated by the negative opinions of others. Another reason to keep your future goals private is that not everyone has good intentions. Human nature is complex. Some people may feel threatened by your ambitions, others may feel jealous, and some may even secretly hope you fail. By sharing too much, you expose your vision to criticism, sabotage, or envy. Your dream is like a seed planted in the ground. If you dig it up too soon and expose it to harsh conditions, it will wither. But if you keep it buried, protected, and nurtured in silence, it has a chance to grow strong and produce fruit. There is also a psychological aspect to this. Studies in human behavior suggest that when you announce your goals publicly, your brain experiences a small sense of accomplishment just from speaking it aloud. In other words, by telling others what you plan to do, you trick yourself into feeling like you've already achieved something, which can lower your motivation to actually follow through. Keeping your plans private prevents this false sense of progress. Instead, it builds inner discipline and fuels your determination to act rather than just talk. This does not mean you must isolate yourself or never share anything with anyone. Wise counsel and trusted mentors are invaluable. Sometimes you need guidance, accountability, and advice, but the key is being selective, choosing carefully who you confide in, and ensuring those people truly want the best for you. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Some should only see the final product, not the process. History is filled with examples of people who worked in silence before unveiling their success. Think of inventors, leaders, and creators who spent years in quiet preparation, testing, failing, and building before the world even knew what they were doing. When their vision finally emerged, it was undeniable. That's the beauty of moving in silence. When your results show, they speak louder than any words ever could. Keeping your plans private also protects your energy. Every time you announce something prematurely, you give a piece of your energy away. You invite questions, opinions, and sometimes unnecessary pressure. But when you remain quiet, you conserve that energy and direct it toward execution instead of explanation. Your focus sharpens, your determination deepens, and you remain free from external distractions. In life, wisdom often lies in what you don't say. Silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. Your future is precious, your goals are sacred, and your dreams deserve protection. So, keep your plans close to your heart, nurture them with discipline, feed them with effort, and when the time is right, let the world see the results. Because once your success is visible, you won't need to explain it. Your achievements will do the talking for you. Every person walking this earth has weaknesses. No matter how strong, confident, or successful someone appears on the outside, there are vulnerabilities beneath the surface. These may be fears, insecurities, past traumas, or habits we are still working to overcome. Having weaknesses doesn't make us flawed, it makes us human. But what truly matters is how wisely we manage and protect them. One of the greatest mistakes people make is exposing their weaknesses to the wrong individuals, thinking it shows honesty or trust. In reality, revealing too much about your struggles can put you at risk because not everyone will handle that information with care. The truth is, some people are not interested in supporting you through your weaknesses. They are interested in exploiting them. Think about it. When someone knows exactly where you are vulnerable, they have a kind of map to your soft spots. In the wrong hands, that knowledge can be used against you during disagreements, competition, or moments of conflict. For example, if you openly admit that you struggle with self-doubt, someone could deliberately say things to trigger those insecurities, keeping you from stepping into your full potential. If you confess that you have financial struggles, an opportunist might use that against you to take advantage of your generosity or manipulate you into making bad decisions. Guarding your weaknesses is not about pretending you are perfect. It is about being wise with who you allow into your inner circle. Trust is not something to be handed out freely, it must be earned. Before you share your struggles, ask yourself, has this person proven that they truly want what's best for me? Have they shown that they can be discreet, compassionate, and trustworthy? Or do they have a pattern of gossiping, judging, or betraying others? If the latter is true, then your weaknesses are safer kept to yourself. It's also important to remember that not everyone has the emotional maturity to understand your struggles. Sometimes when you open up to people who are shallow or self-centered, they simply cannot empathize with what you're going through. Instead of support, you may receive judgment or even indifference. That kind of response can wound you even deeper, leaving you more discouraged than before. Protecting your vulnerabilities means only sharing them in environments where they will be met with understanding and encouragement. This doesn't mean bottling everything inside or refusing to acknowledge your weaknesses. On the contrary, acknowledging your struggles is the first step toward growth. But growth happens in safe spaces, with mentors who guide you, with close friends who truly care, or with professionals who are trained to help you. A wise person knows that not every ear deserves access to their truth. Just because someone asks questions doesn't mean they deserve answers. Silence can be your shield, keeping you safe until you find the right person to confide in. Another reason to guard your weaknesses is that strength is often about perception. In life, people respond to how they perceive you. If you carry yourself with confidence and self-respect, you're more likely to be treated with dignity. But if you expose too much of your fragility to the wrong crowd, some may lose respect for you, not because you are weak, but because they see an opportunity to gain power over you. The way others treat you often depends on the boundaries you set. Protecting your vulnerabilities ensures that you are respected for your strengths rather than diminished for your struggles. Finally, guarding your weaknesses also gives you space to work on them privately. Instead of wasting energy defending yourself from outside judgment, you can focus on healing and growing in silence. When you strengthen those fragile areas quietly, one day you will surprise others with how much you've transformed. They won't even know how you overcame your struggles because you never handed them the playbook of your weaknesses. All they will see is your strength. In conclusion, guarding your weaknesses is not a sign of insecurity, it is a sign of wisdom. You don't owe the world access to your struggles. Share them selectively with people who have earned your trust and protect the rest. Because when you choose wisely who sees your vulnerabilities, you remain in control of your life. And when you protect your weaknesses, you create the space to turn them into strengths. Money is one of the most sensitive and powerful topics in human relationships. It has the ability to influence how people see you, treat you, and even how they value your presence in their lives. That's why one of the wisest principles you can follow is to never openly discuss your finances, how much you earn, how much you save, or what you own. Keeping your financial matters private is not about secrecy, it's about security, dignity, and peace of mind. The first reason you should avoid sharing financial details is that money changes people's perception of you. If you reveal that you are doing well financially, some may start to envy you, while others may begin to expect favors or handouts. They may treat you differently, not for who you are, but for what you have. On the other hand, if you admit that you are struggling financially, some people may look down on you, lose respect for you, or see you as weak and vulnerable. Either way, discussing your money exposes you to judgment, comparison, and unequal treatment. By keeping it private, you control the narrative of your life and ensure that people value you for your character, not your wallet. The second reason is protection from exploitation. When people know how much you earn, it gives them an opportunity to manipulate you. For instance, a friend might pressure you into paying for things because they assume you can afford it. A relative may continuously ask for loans because they know you have money. In some cases, people may even try to guilt you into financial obligations that are not your responsibility. By keeping your finances private, you create a shield against manipulation, ensuring that your generosity is on your terms, not on someone else's expectations. Third, talking openly about money often fuels unnecessary comparison. Human beings have a natural tendency to compare themselves to others, and money is one of the easiest ways they measure success. If you share that you make a certain amount, people may immediately compare it to their own earnings and begin to feel insecure, jealous, or even resentful. This can silently damage relationships, creating tension that may not even be spoken aloud. When you remain discreet about your income, you preserve harmony in your relationships and avoid stirring up envy or rivalry. It's also important to remember that your financial situation is not fixed. It changes with time. If you expose your current status, people will remember it, and they may use it to form long-lasting opinions about you. Maybe today you are not doing well financially, but tomorrow you might thrive. Or perhaps you are doing well now, but in the future you may face setbacks. By keeping your finances private, you free yourself from being trapped in people's judgments and expectations. You give yourself room to grow, adapt, and rebuild without unnecessary eyes watching your every step. Another reason to protect your financial privacy is that true wealth is best enjoyed quietly. There is peace in knowing that no one is calculating your worth, asking for your help constantly, or secretly wishing for your downfall. When your finances are private, you can live life on your own terms. You can choose when to give, when to spend, and when to invest without the pressure of other people's opinions. Privacy brings freedom, and freedom brings peace. This doesn't mean you should never talk about money with anyone. In fact, discussing finances with a trusted financial advisor, spouse, or mentor can be wise, as they can help you make better decisions. The key is to be selective. Share financial details only with those who are directly involved in your financial journey, not with acquaintances, friends, or extended family members who don't need to know. At its core, money is not just currency. It is influence, power, and perception. By talking too much about it, you risk losing control of all three. The safest path is discretion. Let your lifestyle reflect your discipline, not your bank account. Let your peace of mind be more valuable than showing off what you have. And above all, remember this: money can make noise, but wealth whispers. The strongest position you can hold is when no one knows exactly how much you have, yet your life still speaks of stability, security, and wisdom. In the end, your financial life is your private business, and it should stay that way. Keep it safe, keep it silent, and let your actions, not your bank statements, tell the story of your success. One of the noblest qualities a person can possess is kindness. To extend a hand to someone in need, to give without expecting anything in return, to show compassion to the hurting, these are signs of true strength and humanity. Yet, in our modern world, kindness is often misunderstood. Many people feel the need to broadcast their good deeds to make sure others know how generous, compassionate, or helpful they have been. But the truth is, when kindness becomes a performance, it loses its purity. The greatest form of giving is silent giving, and the most powerful kindness is the one that does not demand attention. The first reason your acts of kindness should remain silent is because true kindness is about the other person, not about you. When you help someone, the focus should be on their healing, their relief, and their need, not on your role in it. Announcing your good deeds shifts the spotlight onto you, and in doing so, it takes away from the dignity of the person you helped. Imagine someone struggling in silence, only to have their pain turned into a public story just so another person can appear generous. That is not kindness, that is ego wrapped in generosity. Another reason to let kindness remain silent is that recognition is fleeting, but genuine impact lasts forever. If you do something good just so people will notice, their praise will fade quickly and you will constantly crave more approval. But if you act out of pure compassion, the good you do plants seeds in the lives of others, seeds that may grow into hope, strength, and even more acts of kindness. The reward of silent giving is not applause from the crowd, but peace within your soul. Silent kindness also protects you from pride. When you constantly talk about your generosity, it's easy to start seeing yourself as superior to others. You may begin to measure your worth by the good things you've done compared to others, and this creates arrogance instead of humility. True kindness flows from humility. It recognizes that we give not because we are better, but because we are blessed enough to be able to help. Silence keeps kindness pure and keeps your heart grounded. There is also a spiritual dimension to this truth. Many great traditions teach that the highest form of giving is the one done in secret. Whether you call it divine blessing, karma, or simply the law of life, the principle is the same. When you give quietly, the universe rewards you openly. Silent acts of kindness create invisible ripples that come back to you in unexpected ways. But when you make a show of generosity, you've already received your reward in the form of temporary recognition. Another powerful reason to keep your kindness private is to preserve trust. Imagine helping a friend who is going through financial trouble. If you turn around and tell others about it, that friend may feel exposed or even humiliated. They may regret ever opening up to you in the first place. But when you keep your generosity private, you earn respect, trust, and loyalty. People will know that if they ever need you, their dignity will be protected. Silent kindness doesn't just help others, it strengthens relationships. Finally, letting kindness remain silent brings you inner peace. You don't have to worry about who saw what you did or whether people believe you are generous enough. You simply act out of love, compassion, or duty, and then you move on. That peace of heart is far more valuable than any recognition from others. You know in your spirit that you did the right thing, and that is enough. In conclusion, kindness that demands attention is no longer kindness, it is performance. But kindness that remains silent has the power to change lives, build trust, and bring lasting peace. The world doesn't need to see every good thing you do. Sometimes the most powerful actions are the ones no one ever hears about. Give quietly, love sincerely, and let your kindness be remembered not because it was announced, but because it was felt. In today's world, privacy has become rare. With social media, constant communication, and the culture of oversharing, people often feel the need to expose every detail of their lives to others. But wisdom teaches us that not everything should be shared. Your personal life, your family matters, your relationships, your struggles, and even your moments of joy deserves protection. When you give the world too much access to your private life, you open the door to interference, judgment, and even betrayal. Protecting your personal life is not about hiding. It is about safeguarding your peace and maintaining control over your own story. The first reason you must protect your personal life is that not everyone who listens to your story has your best interests at heart. Some may appear curious, but their curiosity may be driven by gossip, not genuine concern. When you reveal too much about your family conflicts or relationship struggles, you risk having those details twisted, shared, or used against you later. What begins as innocent sharing can quickly become fuel for rumors and broken trust. By keeping your personal matters private, you prevent unnecessary voices from interfering in situations they don't truly understand. Another reason is that constant sharing invites unwanted opinions. The more people know about your private struggles, the more they feel entitled to give advice, criticism, or judgment, but not every opinion is wise, and not every voice deserves to guide your decisions. Sometimes the noise of too many opinions can confuse you, making it harder to focus on what really matters. When you protect your personal life, you create space to reflect and make decisions from a place of clarity rather than chaos. Protecting your privacy also preserves the sacredness of your relationships. Intimacy, whether with family, friends, or a partner, is built on trust and respect. The moment you start exposing private details to outsiders, you risk damaging that sacred bond. For example, sharing every argument you have with your partner can create resentment, embarrassment, or mistrust. Your loved ones deserve the safety of knowing that their lives are not on public display. When you protect your personal life, you honor the dignity of those closest to you. There's also power in mystery. When people don't know everything about you, they cannot easily predict you, control you, or judge you. Privacy gives you a certain strength. Others may wonder about your life, but they cannot fully access it. This keeps you in control rather than letting others write your narrative. When you expose too much, you lose that control. People begin to form opinions and assumptions that may not even reflect the truth, but those assumptions can affect how they treat you. Silence protects you from being defined by outsiders. Another reason to value privacy is your own peace of mind. Oversharing often creates regret. You may trust someone in the moment, only to later realize they weren't worthy of your confidence. Once your private matters are out, you cannot take them back. Protecting your personal life gives you peace because you know that the most sensitive parts of your journey are safe with you. That peace is priceless. It keeps you focused, secure, and free from unnecessary drama. Finally, protecting your personal life allows you to enjoy your blessings without interference. When you share too much about your successes, achievements, or even joyful moments, you risk attracting envy. Some people may not celebrate with you, they may secretly resent you. By keeping certain joys private, you protect them from negativity and preserve their purity. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table of happiness. Some blessings are best enjoyed in silence with the people who truly matter. In conclusion, your personal life is your treasure, and it should be guarded carefully. Not everything needs to be explained, shared, or exposed. Some parts of your life are meant to be lived quietly, cherished privately, and protected fiercely. Privacy is not secrecy, it is power. It is the ability to choose who has access to your heart, your struggles, and your victories. Protect your personal life, and you protect your peace, your dignity, and your future. One of the most underestimated strengths in life is the power of privacy. We live in a culture that constantly pushes us to share our opinions, share our plans, share our struggles, share our lives. But what many people fail to understand is that privacy is not weakness, secrecy, or dishonesty. Privacy is power. It is the ability to control your narrative, to protect your peace, and to keep your life sacred from unnecessary interference. The less people know about you, the more they respect you, the less they can use against you, and the more freedom you have to live authentically. The first reason privacy equals power is that it gives you control over your own story. Once something is shared, you no longer control it. Words spread, details get twisted, and before long, what you shared in trust becomes a topic of gossip. But when you keep things private, you decide who knows what, when, and how much. That control is power. It keeps you safe from misinterpretation and manipulation. No one can use what they don't know. The second reason is that privacy protects your peace of mind. The more you share, the more opinions you invite into your life. Everyone feels entitled to weigh in when they know your business. They tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and sometimes their advice leaves you more confused than before. But when you keep your matters private, you don't have to carry the burden of everyone's opinions. You can make decisions calmly, with clarity, and without outside pressure. Peace is power, and privacy is the shield that guards that peace. Privacy also creates an aura of respect. People naturally respect those who are disciplined about what they reveal. When you don't expose every detail of your life, you are perceived as someone with boundaries, someone who carries themselves with dignity. Mystery attracts respect. On the other hand, people who overshare often lose authority because they expose too much. The less you say, the more people want to listen when you finally do speak. That restraint gives you influence, and influence is power. Another way privacy empowers you is by protecting your weaknesses. Everyone has flaws and vulnerabilities, but when you share them openly, you give others a weapon that can be used against you. People may act supportive, but in moments of conflict, those same details can be turned into ammunition. By guarding your weaknesses through privacy, you remove that weapon from the hands of others. Strength isn't about never having struggles, it's about knowing who is safe enough to share them with. Privacy also fuels personal growth. When you keep your goals, plans, or struggles to yourself, you allow them to develop in silence. Growth often happens in private, when no one is watching, no one is judging, and no one is interfering. Like a seed planted in the soil, your dreams need protection in order to sprout. If you expose them too early, they risk being crushed. But when you let them grow quietly, they become strong enough to stand on their own. Silence in your journey gives power to your results. Finally, privacy allows you to enjoy freedom. When people don't know everything about your life, they can't control you, label you, or box you in with expectations. You are free to change, free to grow, and free to live without the weight of constant judgment. The most powerful individuals in the world are not those who reveal everything. They are the ones who choose carefully what to reveal and what to keep hidden. Their silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. In conclusion, privacy is not about hiding. It is about protecting. It is about choosing peace over pressure, strength over exposure, and wisdom over impulse. Privacy is the invisible armor that shields your dignity, your dreams, and your power. So embrace the strength of silence. Protect your story, guard your life, and remember, the less they know, the stronger you remain. Privacy isn't weakness. It is your greatest power.